Alright guys, this is a long play review for Gunfighter on the Amstrad CPC, released by Atlantis Software in 1990, and it's a nice little budget game with some gorgeous box art, which I'm sure would have encouraged many a kid with their pocket money back in the day to spend it on. And I think whilst we're doing this long play, guys, it might be beneficial for you to have a map open. Here's one I found which I made notes on, and it might make watching this long play a little bit more enjoyable if you have the map, which I'll put a link in the description of the video for you. Perhaps you can open it in a second monitor or something. Otherwise it might be a little confusing of where I'm going and what I'm doing, and yeah, you might enjoy this a little bit more with a map. Certainly I made one to know exactly where I need to go, and I'll come on to that in a minute. So we start outside the sheriff's office, and if you go in the sheriff's office you can restock your supply of ammunition. And okay, so let's tell you what's going on here then. Okay, well, on the back of the box it tells us that the Wild West is at its wildest. Outlaws have driven the townsfolk out, hence why it's so quiet and empty here. Stolen the deeds. Ah, there we go. Stolen the deeds to their properties and taken over the town. Only the sheriff is left to recover the deeds. One man against a gang of ruthless outlaws, and that man is you. Oh, here we are in the casino. And we can spend some of our money in the casino here. Ah, we lost. It's kind of like the only little sub-game in the game. Rest of it, though, is you are running around the town trying to find all the deeds to all the properties. Once you've collected all the deeds, the game is won. But periodically cowboys and outlaws will arrive in the town out to gun you down, and you either have to go and seek them out and get rid of them, or carry on looking for the deeds. I think you get fined if you don't find them after a period of time and start losing some money. So you can see that Hugo Your Way is near the mine. At the moment we will just keep wandering around looking for the deeds on our way to the mine. There we go, found another deed, and there's 13 more to save the town. Now the deeds will spawn randomly, so when you find a deed, the next deed will spawn at a random location. So they're not, all of them are not all in fixed locations, so you can't just run around the town and find them all in the same locations or whatever. So you collect one, there's only one deed to find in that town. Oh, there's one of the cowboys. There we go. RIP. So that was the mine. So there's kind of 3 main streets in the town. So if you've got the map open, you'll probably see that. And they sort of horizontally wrap around. The top street will have the casino, the library, undertakers, barbers, hardware, and a trading store. The second street down will have the store of dry goods, the sheriff, and the jail. And the third main street at the bottom will have the bank, hotel, liquor, and Susie's saloon. So generally what I want to do here is pick one of the streets, go all the way across and wrap around, see if I can find a deed there. If not, then I move down or up to the next street, go all the way across And pop in any of the shops as well, because sometimes deeds can spawn inside a shop, although actually I found that to be very rare. Yes. So quickly then, what does the manual tell us? The manual tells us to search out and kill the ruthless gang of outlaws and return the deeds to the honest townsfolk. Earn a bounty for each outlaw killed and a bonus for each deed found. Hey, there we go, there's another one. Right outside the sheriff's office. Continuing the manual here, more bullets can be obtained from the sheriff's office, which we just did, but you can only carry 6 at a time. Extra lives can be purchased from the doctors or docs at $500 each. For a little light relief in between shootouts, you can gamble in the local casino, which we've already seen. Watch out for the Red Indians. They are real sneaky, and try to avoid the potholes. Some of them are 10 feet deep. There's actually no potholes in the game at all, so the manual is wrong. How long will you survive as a gunfighter? Oh, there's the arrow for the doctor, so we can go in there. If we have $500, we can buy an extra life. Thankfully, we've got all 3 lives, which you can see with the sheriff's badges at the top right corner of the screen. Money in the middle there, pretty self-explanatory, with your ammo supply top left. And yeah, so we've got 11 more D's to find to save the town, and it's going to take us about 20 or so minutes to do that. So God knows what I'm going to talk about for 20 minutes on this long play. I shall do my best without rambling and dribbling on about crap. Right, okay. So this game was originally a ZX Spectrum game, originally made by the Shaw brothers, which are 3 brothers of Graham, David and Adrian, who made some great little budget games for the Specky. For example, Cave Mania, Moon Talk, Skating USA, Super Kid, but they never handled any of the conversions to other systems, from what I can find, and then that includes the Amstrad version. The Specky one looks very different to the Amstrad one. We'll come on to that in a little bit. So this conversion, as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, was programmed by Tony Love, and I think he did the graphics too, and what little sound effects there are. But I can't find any other games by him on the Amstrad, at least. But it appears he handled all the conversions to the other systems. So this game was ported by Tony Love to not only the Amstrad, but the Commodore 64, BBC Micro, and Atari 8-bit home computers, so Atari 400, 800, XL, XE. God, I get confused with the Atari names sometimes. So actually, while we're talking about that, I think I will talk about the other versions. So first up, let's talk about the Atari version. For the Atari 400, 800 or XL, XE, it looks and plays pretty much identical to the Amstrad version. Stranger, I'm very surprised by that, but with different colours. But it actually plays a lot slower, strangely. Next up is the BBC Micro Electron version, and again, looks and plays pretty much identical to the Amstrad version, but it has different colours. But unlike the Atari version, it plays at the same speed as the Amstrad version. However, it doesn't have any sort of sprite flicker. If we notice here on the Amstrad version, the sprite kind of flickers a bit, but the BBC version doesn't have any sprite flicker. But 100% confirmed that the BBC Micro version was done by Tony Love. It doesn't list him for the Atari one, but again, it looks absolutely identical. Commodore 64 version, same as the others. Again, it looks identical, same sprites. All the sprites of the cowboys and stuff look identical, as did the backgrounds. So the Commodore 64 version is pretty much identical to the CPC, but has no sprite flicker, plays the same speed, but it actually has more colours, strangely enough. For once, the Commodore 64 version is more colourful than the Amstrad. I think on the Amstrad version here, it's obviously used sort of mode 1, I think. However, it's quite a chunky. I can't really tell if it's mode 1 or mode 0 really, because everything is quite chunky in terms of the sprites and the background graphics. So this could have been mode 0 or mode 1 really, but only done in 4 colours. Probably mode 1 to make it more compatible porting and converting between the versions. But the Specky is the original and the best, hands down. It is nice and really colourful. Yes, really colourful graphics. Sprites have a much nicer design, and there's much more presentation all round, which is good. Oh, there's one. There's one of the Indians, and apparently I shot him in the back, and I'm a coward for doing so. But he kind of turned around on me, so that's a bit unfair. Not sure if we get a fine for that or not, or something. Alright, there we go. 8 more Ds to find. So yeah, the Specky version is the best, with the Commodore 64 being the best conversion, with the BBC version coming next due to no or minimal sprite flicker. Sadly, the CPC version comes next, with the Atari version last, really, with it playing the slowest. Now, the reason why I chosen... Oh, Biddy the Goat is in town. Watch out, cowboy. There he is. And you get a little picture of the cowboy and outlaw in the top left there in the wanted section. Now, the reason I chose to do this long play this time, it's a pretty unheard of game, I think, on the Amstrad. But oh, there he is. Oh, he actually hit me then, so I've lost a life. Yikes. Oh yeah, of course the gravestones remain there as well from the outlaws and cowboys you've shot. Ooh, there's a deed there. We could actually go in the doctor's surgery here and buy ourselves alive, but we'll leave that for a bit. Before I come on to what I was going to talk about, why I'm doing this game, I should point out that ooh, move off the screen there. There we go. And then, oh my god! Oh, and I lost a life there as well. The next gunfighter appeared right away there. So, oh my god, I lost my train of thought now. Right, I should point out that you can lose your lives very, very quickly, because they can shoot bullets very quickly, one after another, and you can get caught out by a cowboy or outlaw appearing on the screen right nearby you, and so he shoots him, and he shoots you like 3 times, bang, 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 almost like that, and then you're dead, and it's game over. That could be game over very, very, very quickly. And I think in the Specky version, there's an additional room here behind the hotel you can go to, but not on the Amstrad version. So watch out for that. You can lose your life very, very quickly. So be prepared to abuse the flick screen by moving off the screen and on the screen again to give you an advantage. Okay, so why am I doing this one? Finally get around to talking about it. We did a live stream a couple of weeks ago where I did a requests night live, and someone on the stream asked if I could do this one. I'd never heard of it before, and she had like very, very good memories of the game. And as soon as I booted it up, I recognised it. I was like, oh blimey, I actually remember this one. And then several other people on the stream also went, oh my god, I remember this. I used to love this game as a kid. Especially known YouTuber Nostalgia Nerd. He was on the live stream, and he like basically went, oh my god, I remember this one from the Spectrum. And he used to love that one as well. So we had a lot of people sort of going, oh, I remember this one, and like, oh, it's really, really cool, and this brings back lots of memories. So for those guys, those people, this is going to bring back a lot of nostalgia for. This one is for you, and then occasionally I like to pick an unusual or perhaps unheard of, maybe a little budget game that hardly anyone remembers, and just bring it out there, put it on my channel for you guys. I don't always have to do the big budget, well-known releases. movie licenses, film licenses, arcade conversions. I've done lots of them in the past, so every now and again I'll throw you out a curveball like this one, and I hope you appreciate that. Nice to have a bit of variety in terms of the long play review videos on my channel. But certainly, those of you that had it on the Spectrum will have very, very, very fond memories of this one. Maybe less so the Amstrad, because it's nowhere near as good as the Specky version. The problem is it just lacks a lot of atmosphere. It could really have done with some like Western style jaunty little music, honky tonk pianos or whatever in the background, and it would have really lifted this game a lot more. I'm not sure why they've gone for like the 4-colour palette here, using blue, red, white and black. Not amazingly visually appealing. The sprite design is a bit poor. It feels very kind of Amsofty 1985 kind of graphics. And the background graphics are okay, but all we hear is that the little pitter-patter of his feet, gunfire, and the sound when you shoot someone or pick up a deed. And that's your lot. And no title screen either, and no loading screen. Harry Barr is in town. Watch out, cowboy. He looks like an ugly fella. So yeah, guys, if you've got the map open in your second monitor, perhaps this might make a bit more sense. Otherwise, I'm just running around strange locations in a loop. Ah, okay. 6 more to find of the deeds. So there we go. Sometimes you might be able to find them very, very quickly. Sometimes they even spawn on the same screen that you just found a deed, or maybe to the screen to the left of you. Screens. Oh, look, there's another one. Fantastic. 5 more deeds. Oh! See what I was just talking about there? 4 more to save the town. But as you can see from the length of this video, where are we at? 17 minutes, and we've got another 5 or so minutes. It takes me a little longer to find the rest of these deeds. Never mind. I think soon, guys, we're going to need to do. I think I've found a theme for a live stream at some point. Wild West style games on the Amstrad. I could play this. Kane, Back to the Future Part 3. There's also Western games as well, like a multi-sport event thing, like Epics used to do. Oh yeah, there's Gunsmoke. There's Bounty Hunter from Codemasters as well, which is kind of a Gunsmoke clone. Now, I believe there was a very, very early and ancient arcade game called Gunfighter, but this has nothing. This has no relation to that at all. I think it's one of those very, very early arcade games that was 2-player, where you'd move like a stick figure cowboy up and down the side of the screen and try and shoot your opponent on the other side of the screen, and you could only move up and down and fire across. But yeah, this has no relation to it at all, just in name only. Oh, I got fined $10 there, and I don't know why. It just briefly appeared there. Maybe it's because I took too long in finding that particular outlaw and cowboy, and he spawned right next to me in the sheriff's office. How rude! But again, guys, I don't think this is particularly bad for. Well, 2 more to find. I don't think this is particularly bad for like £1.99 on budget in the year of 1990. Most of the budget games, budget houses, Codemasters, to Hit Squad. Their games are about $2.99 to $3.99 at the time, so $1.99 for a cheapo budget game from Atlantis. You're not going to complain too much. That's just whoa! Abuse it. Shot him in the back, you coward! Blimey. So yeah, I don't think you complain too much about this for £1.99. So when I did give a review score, I'm going to have to bear in lots of factors. The year of release, which is actually quite late in the day, in 1990. The price you would have paid for it. I mean, I can't compare this to a high-price budget, full-price release at the time, like from Motion Software or something. And obviously, would you play this game today in 2018? There he is. There you go. Just moved off the screen there because I think that bullet was going to hit me. Abusing the flick screen there would have been nice to have actually proper scrolling. But as a kind of summing up a review, the graphics are meh. Like I said, sprite design feels very much like early days of Amsoft games. Needed some background music. The sound effects are pretty basic and poor, really. It lacks atmosphere. I think with a nice jaunty tune in the background, Western style, I think this would have lifted the game a lot more. I like the concept of like cowboys arriving and in the town. You get a notification about that, and he's outside the KO corral there, or outside the cemetery, waiting for you or something. And then you can go and hunt them down, or they will come and hunt you down. That's cool. I like that. And of course then the next part of the game is finding all the deeds which will spawn randomly around the town, which I don't think works quite as well, because why would deeds to properties randomly spawn in certain locations? But okay, you've got two layers of gameplay here really. But the question is it fun to play? It kind of is. I don't think you can complain for too much for £1.99. So, bearing in mind this is a very, very cheap budget release, and I think you would have had a bit of fun with it. I'm going to give this I think either a 6 out of 10 or a 6.5. I think I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10, and I think if I had the version the Spectrum had, I think I would probably have given this a much higher score. I think it's quite beloved on the Speccy, and I can see why. The concept is fairly good, and a good concept for a budget game, no less, as well. It's just maybe sort of a bit cheaply executed on the other versions other than the Speccy. But I was quite shocked to see that the Commodore 64 version, the Atari 8-bit home computer versions, the BBC Micro version and the CPC version all look and play identically, with some minor differences. CPC has a bit of flickering sprites here on the main character, sadly. The Commodore 64 version has more colours than the Amstrad one. And for once, I think the BBC version is actually better than the Amstrad version. And it was kind of interesting to find that the shootouts are pretty good fun as well. It was interesting to find that one guy, Tony Love, handled all the conversions to all these different systems. So in a way, an impressive job by Tony Love, if he was covering all those different computers with different processors and amounts of memory available and all that kind of stuff. So well done to Tony Love, but yeah, it's decent enough for a £1.99 budget game. So hopefully we should be finishing this very shortly, and I managed to ramble away for about half an hour with not much happening. So check the rooms and stores and inside buildings and stuff. There can sometimes be deeds spawn in there, but it seems to be very rare that they do, but they can do. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's just a process of working along one of the 3 streets, go all the way across, check all the rooms, then move up to the next street, check that street, until you come across the deed. Weirdly, we've not had a cowboy or outlaw arrive in town yet, or spawn. Two favours, 2 mows in town. Oh, he's right behind me. So the Red Indian guys seem to be a lot more aggressive. Often spawn right near you, or even inside the sheriffs. I've had that happen quite a few times. And there you go. I suppose the gunfights are kind of fun. Restock your bullets inside the sheriff's office, of course. Oh, there's the deed. And that's it. You have saved the town. Essentially, guys, we have beaten the game. We have found all the deeds now. But there isn't really an ending. You can still just carry on playing. I kind of expected that to happen, if I'm honest with you. It's been very quickly ported. I didn't really kind of expect an ending. So I think what we'll do here, guys, is like we'll just go and sort of kill ourselves and show you what happens when it's game over. We just need someone to spawn. And there you go. So we found all the deeds, and that's it. And the game just carries on, and you don't get any reward for having a better score or anything like that. Oh, the quick draw kid is in town. Cool. We can let him kill us then, basically. And yeah, that's your lot. So yeah, 6. I think 6 out of 10 from me. I think that's kind of fair. I don't think it's got much replay value. I don't think I'm going to be coming back to revisit this at any time soon. Maybe on a live stream, but in the future. But that would be it. I don't have any compulsion to do this game. There's no compulsion to come back and do the game better. There's no sort of higher difficulties or anything like that. So yeah, 6 out of 10 from me, guys. And I think we'll come across the kid very shortly and let him kill us. There he is. Boom. He actually took 2 lives there very quickly. Oh well, there we go. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you again soon. Goodbye.
So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click a like below, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And over that way, there's another video for you to check out. Zypho, out.